Welcome to your favorite program, The Power Circuit, from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This program keeps you informed about the operations of TCN and the role it plays in managing the national electricity grid. Here are the headlines of the stories lined up in this edition. Ministry of Power moves to deliver more power projects. Service level agreement is good for the power sector, TCN officials say. The management of TCN reiterates focus on advancing the reliability of Nigeria's power sector. TCN creates new Kano transmission region from Kaduna region. Today's spotlight is on the annual maintenance exercise executed at the 132 kV Suleja transmission substation in Niger State. We hope to deliver an exciting and informative package to you in this edition. My name is Amara Agogoisi, and this is The Power Circuit. The Minister of Power, Engineer Saleh Maman, has convened a joint meeting of key agencies under the Federal Ministry of Power towards evaluating and activating some power projects nationwide.
The joint meeting chaired by the Minister at the Power House in Abuja consists of officials of the Ministry of Power, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. Top of the agenda of this meeting was evaluation of some key power projects belonging to the NDPHC across the country. The meeting was also held to deliberate on the modalities for maximizing output from these projects for the NDPHC through the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Present at the meeting was the Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, the Minister of State for Power, Godi J.D. Agba, and the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Power, Mr. Williams Alo. Other officials include the management of the NDPHC, led by its Managing Director, Chiedu Ugbo, the Executive Director, Transmission Service Provider at TCN, Engineer Victor Adeumi, the Executive Director, System Operations at TCN, Engineer Maman Lawal, and the Technical Advisor to the Acting MD, CEO of TCN, Engineer Aminu Tahir. There were also representatives of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission and the technical aides of the Minister of Power at the meeting.
As the quest for the improvement of the power sector heightens, the management officials of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, say the Service Level Agreement, SLA, is good for the power sector if it is strictly implemented by every stakeholder.
The TCN officials raised this point at the opening session of a workshop on the Service Level Agreement, SLA, organized to intensify training for the general managers in the transmission service provider and the system operations arms of the company. Speaking at the workshop to groom the training participants on the core expectations of the Service Level Agreement, the Executive Director, Transmission Service Provider, TCN, Engineer Victor Adeumi, tasked the general managers to sustain their operational responsibilities in line with the Service Level Agreement, SLA, towards helping the company to drive its goals of being a world-class power transmission utility.
SLA has come to stay. Even if there's something more stringent than SLA, let government implement it. So that for this sector can be better for it.
Engineer Deumi said the transmission service provider has adopted a more proactive measure to resolve technical issues and help the system operations to deliver optimum service.
We will do the needful. People need to be informed. People need to be trained. So let them know that this thing is about money. When you line trip and you don't patrol, you are causing the organization to lose money.
The Executive Director, Independent System Operations at TCN, Engineer Maman Lawal, told the participants to be free to discuss their plans and recommendations as the management was open to strategies that would further improve on the gains of power transmission in the country so far.
So we can share understanding on critical issues that affect the implementation of the service level agreement. When we talk of service level agreement, we have to correlate it with service-based tariff. Alright? The industry is growing in spite of the hiccups that we have had to encounter all the time. You will agree with me also that the industry is also developing. Right? Emphasis is now placed more than ever before on network resource optimization.
Engineer Lawal therefore urged the general managers to adopt the practice of going the extra mile, just as they demonstrated improved capabilities in their various transmission regions under the TCN.
The industry has always been driven by knowledge, but it is now increasingly driven by knowledge. Okay, we don't just think as engineers. In fact, by our training, we're not expected to just think as engineers, isn't it? We have the so-called engineering economy. Okay, it shapes everything because the object of every designer is the economic value of his contrivance. So we must be guided appropriately. I ask you, lady and gentlemen, to interact and interact effectively, communicate effectively, so that we really can share understanding on these critical factors that will appear to vitiate our performance.
The system operator reminded the general managers of their roles across the regions of TCN, asking them to take firm charge over their region's operations.
If you must take charge of the activities that go on, all right, between the TCN, our TCN, and the discourse, then you must be on top of the game.
Some of the participants also made their points during the workshop, especially as it concerns transmission system maintenance, the power grid operations and the market operations of the national electricity grid.
The power circuit continues after this break.
Do not build under transmission power lines for your safety and health. Electricity power lines and substations, either for power transmission or power distribution services, are extremely dangerous when exposed to direct human contact. These power lines and substations transmit electricity that lights up our homes and offices, power our computers, TVs, and refrigerators. On the other hand, the same electricity when exposed is extremely dangerous. It can shock, electrocute, and kill anyone on its way. That is why everyone must adopt safety measures whenever we use or are close to electricity facilities like power lines or substation or transformers. For the safety of the people and animals, governments all over the world have approved way leave or right-of-way of 50 meters for 330 kV power lines and 30 meters for 132 kV power lines, and for 33 kV lines, the way leave is 15 meters. People are not expected to be found within this way leave or right-of-way for safety reasons. The lines can suddenly cut and fall to the ground with very disastrous consequences such as fire and electrocution of anybody and destruction of anything, be it vehicle, houses or vegetation on its line. It has also been established that power lines and substation emit electromagnetic fields, EMF, which is dangerous to human health. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that people who spend long hours under or close high-tension lines stand the risk of being affected by EMF and be vulnerable to cancer, leukemia in children, miscarriages among pregnant women, and other terrible diseases. It is therefore advisable not to build any structure or operate any business under or near any electricity high-tension lines or substations. TCN wants you to stay alive, stay safe, stay healthy, avoid power lines. This message is from the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says it is focused on advancing grid reliability towards delivering more bulk power across the country. This was the crux of a recent meeting between TCN and a delegation from a United States power firm recently.
The acting managing director and CEO of TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, at the meeting welcomed the theme to the TCN corporate headquarters in Abuja, while reiterating the commitment of the company towards advancing power transmission networks.
Welcome to TCN, and through this meeting, So we'll listen to you and see what the mission is.
You're welcome.
The Photovoltaic Project Development Director at Sun Africa, Mr. Gabin Kochoi, said the team was at TCN to renew the interest of the company to partner with TCN to deliver more projects.
The reason that we came here is to renew our interest to work with TCN, to also tell TCN that there is a very keen interest of US government to help a Nigerian energy system financially. These are tough times. Fortunately, where we're coming from, there is a very large sum of money that is allocated for key countries in Africa by Biden administration. We invest in a complete energy solution. Basically, we can invest in power substations, transmission, energy storage. So anything that deals with energy is also technological improvements of TCN as a company as well. So our business model is whatever other companies are doing, trying to inject solar power in the system. This is only a small part of our business. So we do integrated energy solutions with studies, very comprehensive studies by us and ABB to see what the status of the system is today, what are the possibilities for new generation, what is the replacement of the old power sources, and how to balance everything. So this is very, very important to say that we can really be a very close partners of TCN to solve your immediate needs, mid-term needs, not only in a generation, only because your primary business is transmission. And this is exactly what we are coming. We can provide comprehensive solution and finance this solution as well. This is very important to say.
The senior advisor to Sun Africa, Engineer Lazarus Angbazu, said the team was at TCN to familiarize with the TCN management team on strategic partnerships.
The point of this call today is really to sort of connect you and Goran and to sort of bring to you the message of cooperation that is already kind of put together with all of the consortium members, some of whom are represented here today, but most formidably the US government as well.
In a presentation by the team from Sun Africa, the company further said Nigeria needed more investment in the power sector to improve power supply to the Nigerian consumers. In his comment, the Executive Director, Transmission Service Provider TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, said the Nigerian government has a plan to integrate solar power in the energy grid towards making the transmission grid more robust.
The Nigerian government too want to key into renewables because we can't afford to be left behind. The whole world is going green, so Nigeria too has to follow through by going green. So I know Nigerian government in the past tried to cite these renewables in a location called Giwa in Jigawa State. Nigerian government trying to follow the Marrakesh, the Morocco-Marrakesh system. So by getting a mass land in Giwa, and the effort that time is that anybody bringing in solar system to Nigeria can go there. You earmark your plot to you can establish your own system there. And by so doing, TCN typically plan to take 330 kV transmission line there from Sakara, Uganda to Giwa. So we have that plan also.
The Executive Director, Independent System Operations at TCN, Engineer Mamun Lawal, said TCN is focused on building reliability of the transmission grid, which would guarantee more bulk power evacuation for onward delivery to the growing Nigerian consumers.
To attain our operational sweet spot, we have to ensure that operational safety is taken care of. The need for resource authorization is paramount as well. But our immediate challenge is reliability.
After listening to the visiting delegation from Solar Africa, the acting managing director of TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, advised the team to discuss more with the TCN team on areas for practical partnerships.
Let your team sit down with our team and see what is our area of interest. By the time we reach an agreement, then we can call for a meeting like this.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has created the Kano Transmission Region from the old Kaduna Transmission Region. This brings to 10 the number of TCN regional operation centers nationwide.
According to a statement by the General Manager Public Affairs at TCN, Ndidimba, the management of TCN said the creation of the Kano Transmission Region became necessary owing to the rapid economic and industrial development being witnessed within Kano State and its environs. TCN also stated that the new region was created in line with the diligent implementation of TCN's strategic Nigerian electricity grid maintenance, expansion and rehabilitation program, which has enabled TCN to complete more ongoing projects and invariably increase the number of substations within that axis. The new Kano Transmission Region has under its supervision one sub-regional office and several work centers, all housing a total of 13 transmission substations. These substations include that of Kumboso, Dan Agundi, Dakata, Tamburawa, Konardangora, and Wodil in Kano. There are the Kankia, Katsina, and Daura substations in Katsina, the Dusi, Hadejia, and Gagarwa substations in Jigawa states, and the Azare substation in Bauchi state. The new Kano region currently has ongoing transmission sustained projects, which when completed would further increase bulk transmission capacity in the new region. The new region would further improve the operational efficiency of TCN and enable in-house engineers of TCN to readily assess and resolve technical issues within the region. Before the creation of a Kano region, major decisions had to be referred to Kaduna region for directives, and the supply of materials were sometimes delayed due to logistic procedures from Kaduna. With this new region, it is now closer for logistics, and that will quickly reduce downtime and eliminate time loss as in the past when materials had to be conveyed from Kaduna region. The management in the statement reassured that TCN is determined to continue to rehabilitate and expand its network in line with the rehabilitation and expansion plans.
To ensure seamless bulk power delivery, in-house engineers of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, have undertaken a routine maintenance exercise at the 132-33 kilovolts Suleja transmission substation in Niger State. Here is a report on this.
At the routine maintenance of the 132-33 kilovolt Suleja transmission substation, the engineers worked diligently with their checklists as they checked and documented their observations in the control room of the substation. The control room is where the multiple 60 MVA power transformers at the switchyard of the substation and other equipments are controlled. At the switchyard of the Suleja power transmission substation, the team of TCN in-house engineers checked one of the 60 MVA power transformers scheduled for the maintenance operation. They checked the circuit breakers, the feeders, and the transmission equipment in the switchyard of the facility to ensure they were in the best operational condition. The engineers further took their time to meticulously examine the various parts of the feeders and other power transmission components in the substation. Extensive maintenance procedures were executed on the 60 MVA power transformer by the ever-ready in-house engineers of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. They checked the power transformer components and their joining cables to ensure they were in top shape to continuously deliver bulk energy. The TCN maintenance crew returned to the control room to observe the performance of the power transmission equipment at the switchyard after they had been maintained. Commenting on the routine maintenance, the assistant manager transmission at the Gwagwalada sub-region of the Abuja transmission region of TCN, Engineer A.D. Ismail, said the Suleja substation is part of the array of facilities under the Gwagwalada sub-region.
Out of the 5 transformers we have, so I think this is the last transformer we have to maintain. So, and this transformer is supplying GRA feeder. We have field base. That's another segment of the customers, and then we also have Suleja township itself. So, which is having expected load. We have about 36 to 7 megawatts when they are fully in the load. Everything is going on smoothly. There is no problem so far. But for maintenance, as far as Suleja is concerned, virtually as from today, we finished the 5 transformers we are expected to maintain at this quarter of the year.
The senior manager, power control and maintenance at the Gwagwalada sub-region, Engineer Ladotun Farapoju, explained the role of his section in the maintenance exercise.
Basically, we inject on all our protective devices, our relays, to be specific, so that we can calibrate them to get them ready for the next year that we are in, like we did this last year.
In the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, we transmit bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, to distribution load centers of various distribution companies, DISCOs. Nationwide, we do not generate electricity, neither do we distribute same directly to electricity consumers. TCN has 2 business units, the Transmission Service Provider, TSP, and Independent System Operations, ISO. The ISO comprised of System Operation, SO, and Market Operation, MO. The business units all perform specialized functions under the TCN umbrella. Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, wheeling power for national economic growth. This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
Before we round up, here are the headlines. Ministry of Power moves to deliver more power projects. Service level agreement is good for the power sector, TCN officials say. You also heard that the management of TCN says it is focused on advancing reliability of the power grid. TCN creates new Kano transmission region from Kaduna region. The spotlight was on the deepened culture of proactive maintenance exercise on power transmission equipment by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, as the company successfully executed the annual maintenance of the 132-33 kilovolts Suleja Power Transmission Substation in Niger State. We are happy to have you with us through this edition of the Power Circuit. We have made available this episode and others for your viewing delight on the TCN YouTube channel. You can also support the company through these platforms so that together TCN will deliver more milestones in delivering bulk electricity for improved consumer experience. While TCN wishes you the best, kindly follow the coronavirus prevention protocol. Thanks for watching. I am Amara Agogoesi. Hope to see you again.